Hi everyone, my name is Arman and today I'm going to show you how to make this animation using Canvas. First of all, Canvas is an element or tag, as you will, inside the HTML, which allows you to draw inside. It's like div, just with the function of drawing inside. So in order to make this work, I'll show you the code that I wrote. First of all, I'm creating the canvas. Here it is, the tag canvas, giving it an ID, width and height. And then, in order to draw inside this, I'm going to use JavaScript. So, first of all, I'm choosing this tag with the ID by doing a document.getElementById, and I write the ID of canvas here, and I'm storing all this data inside the variable canvas. Then I'm going to get context to this means that I'm going to get all the functions that allows me to draw inside canvas and store all these functions which are part of the object inside this context variable. Then element number is another variable that I'm going to use later so this is going to generate as much elements as I want. The elements are those squares or rectangles, as you will, like all these elements that are animating here, the number of those elements. And I have an array of points which I'm going to use in order to store data inside this. You'll see how I'm going to use this now. Here's an extra function that is generating a color, like, okay, I'll say what it's doing. I'm getting a variable here and I'm storing inside that from 0 to 9 and A, B, C, D, E, F. Those are just hexadecimal like values, those hexadecimal counting system. It's used for generating colors, like all the colors are represented in this counting system. And the colors are like written like this, sharp sign, like 0, 0, 0, 0, FF. This is blue, so this is the way of representing color inside HTML. So I'm generating this by choosing a random number or letter from here and plugging it to this sign, and at the end of this loop I'm going to get a variable color which will store inside some random color. Here it is. And now I'm going to create the objects, yes, or the elements. And for this one I'm going to use another loop, for loop, and here's the element number that I'm going to use. I have a constant, now it's 30, so it's going to create 30 objects because it's going to iterate over these 30 times. And here I'm just creating objects and pushing them into the array, storing them inside the array, as you will. And those objects are going to have like these elements inside. X, Y, those are the coordinates of the objects. The objects are those, remember, sometimes you can miss them. So width and height are the width and height of our elements. X delta and Y delta, we'll talk about those. Those are used when we reach like the edge of the canvas. And color, and here I'm generating random color for each of those elements. The main function, which I call to draw. In this function, first of all, I'm going to fill the background with this little blue color, and I'm just doing this for fun. It's like better than the white background. So I'm just clearing the rectangle. This is a function that Canvas is giving to us. You remember the context is the variable that is storing all the 2D, all the functions that Canvas 2D is giving to us. ClearRect is a function that is getting those arguments, 4 arguments, and those 4 arguments are, first 2 arguments are like the points X and Y, the coordinates, and the last 2 arguments are the width and height, which is going to be used in order to clear. So we are just giving the area which is going to be clear by mentioning the point like 0, 0, and the width of giving the width of the canvas. Sorry, we are giving the height of the canvas. Then we are going to give it to the width of the canvas, and it's going to select all the canvas, and then it's going to delete it. It's pretty simple. So let's go on, and here I'm clearing the canvas. Fill style is going to give the color for this function, and it will fill rect is just doing the same thing as clear rect, but instead of clearing the area, it's going to fill the area with this color, with fill style color. So I'm filling the color of this like this blue, and that's all. So for the main function that is making our animation, I'm going to check each time if the object is inside or outside of the canvas. If it's outside of the canvas, I'm going to like subtract the so let me draw that so you can get it better. Like we are like spawning those objects randomly, and one object can get like this, and if it's like here, we will have some problem detecting whether it's touching the border or not. So for solving this problem, I'll probably like check if this is spawned in the right place or if it's spawned outside. And if it's spawned outside, I'm going to like this to subtract from the x coordinates. I'm going to subtract this little part. Let's call it A. And by subtracting this little part, I will get it inside the canvas for sure. And this little part I'm going to have by like x plus width minus the width of the canvas, and I'll get this. The same for height. So I'm doing this for checking if all the elements are spawned right, and this one for the height is just the same thing for the height. Then I'm going to get a fill style, a color of the point, like each object we are doing for each, and the point is the object inside the array. I'm going to get the color of that object, and fill rect, again I'm going to get those x, y, width and height from the objects that are stored inside the array. And here is the function that is checking if it is touching the border of the canvas or not. If the x coordinate plus width is bigger or smaller, bigger or equal to from the canvas width, and or if it is smaller or equal to the 0, and it means that those rectangles are actually touching the borders of the canvas. And when we check this and get true, we are going to do x delta, like -1 is going to get in opposite direction. And again, here I did some trick. I just, each time they touch to the border, they are going to change their color. And the same thing for the y-axis, and here is the thing that is animating them. Each time this for each is running, we are going to plus x delta to the x coordinate, and it's going to animate them. The same for y. And in the end, I'm making the function animate, which has another function draw inside it. This console locus for checking something, and I set timeout, so this is the interval, so 10 milliseconds, this is the interval, so for each 10 milliseconds it's going to call this draw function, and this is the animate function, and at the end I call the animate function, and it's going to make this. So this is pretty simple but cool. You can make a lot of things with using Canvas. You can just go surf the web and find some more information about Canvas and how to draw and other cool things to make like watches in Canvas or other great things. Integrate Canvas with other images, and it's pretty simple and fun. You can just go ahead and play with it, and as always the link to the source code is on the description. It's on my GitHub. You can check other projects on my GitHub, and there are also another tutorials that are explaining my codes, which you will find on the GitHub. And this is all. Carry on learning, and learning is really fun. Thank you.